What if the Ottoman Empire, instead of declining through the 18th and 19th centuries, suddenly became the first nation on Earth to industrialize 2 full centuries before Europe? Imagine the shockwaves this single change would send across history. Factories rising in Istanbul, while the rest of the world still depends on handcrafted production. Steam engines, mechanized armies, rail networks, ironclad ships, and mass communication emerging long before the Industrial Revolution even begins elsewhere. This scenario wouldn't just rewrite Ottoman history, it would reshape the entire global order. And the moment this alternate future begins, the world as we know, it starts bending in ways that defy everything written in the history books. The transformation would begin in the heart of the empire. Istanbul becomes the planet's first industrial megacity, its skyline filled with early smokestacks and machinery none of Europe has ever seen. Craftsmen turn into engineers. Guilds transform into industrial corporations. Schools evolve into technical academies decades before the concept even exists worldwide. The empire harnesses coal deposits in Anatolia, the Balkans, and the Caucasus, turning them into the energy foundation of a fast-growing industrial economy. Roads pave earlier, rail lines spread across 3 continents, and new bureaucratic systems emerge to manage factories, workers, and rapid urbanization. This early industrialization also supercharges the Ottoman military. Imagine a mechanized army in the 1600s or 1700s, while its rivals still rely on cavalry and muskets. Steam-powered siege engines, early cannons mass-produced with precision, ironclad warships appearing centuries ahead of schedule, communication lines connecting every major city in the empire, enabling instant coordination during wars. Neighboring powers like Austria, Russia, and Persia would be overwhelmed by this sudden leap in technology and organization. The empire's borders, which historically contracted, instead expand deep into Europe, Central Asia, and North Africa. Trade routes that once slipped from Ottoman control become fully integrated into a new industrial economy. But then comes the first major hook. The Ottoman Empire becomes the center of global science and innovation. Scholars across continents travel to Istanbul instead of London or Paris. Physics, engineering, astronomy, medicine, and mathematics flourish at unprecedented speed. Printing presses spread literacy, newspapers create mass public awareness, and scientific societies emerge long before the Age of Enlightenment. The empire adopts early public infrastructure, hospitals, sanitation systems, energy networks, and creates the world's first industrial workforce. With this power comes global influence. Europe enters a defensive posture, terrified of being left behind. France and Britain rush to modernize, but can't match 2 centuries of head start. Russia collapses or becomes a satellite state early on. The balance of power shifts completely toward the Ottoman sphere, and diplomatic alliances reorganize around this industrial superpower. The Silk Road revives as steam-powered trade routes link China, India, and the Middle East. Ottoman ports dominate world commerce, controlling the Mediterranean, Red Sea, Persian Gulf, and Black Sea. Istanbul becomes the global center of wealth. Then the second hook arrives. Technology accelerates so fast that the empire reaches the equivalent of 19th century innovation by the early 1700s, creating early electric systems, crude telegraph devices, experimental engines, and even prototypes of flight. The world witnesses inventions hundreds of years ahead of schedule. Political revolutions erupt not in Europe, but in territories struggling to keep pace with rapid modernization. And as factories multiply, the empire confronts new internal challenges. Worker movements demanding rights, provinces seeking autonomy, conservative elites resisting modernization, and environmental strain from early industrial pollution. Global empires form differently as well. Europe never colonizes large parts of Africa or Asia because the Ottoman Empire becomes the first industrial colonial force. establishing protectorates and trade networks stretching across continents. America's rise becomes slower without European industrialization, and Asian powers like Japan industrialize much earlier through exposure to Ottoman technology. A worldwide race to modernize begins centuries before our timeline. By the 1800s, in this alternate history, the Ottoman Empire might become a hyper-industrialized global superstate, commanding science, trade, warfare, and culture. The world map changes beyond recognition. The Industrial Revolution, as we know it, never happens in Britain because the Ottoman Empire ignites it first, reshaping humanity's trajectory. But with unchallenged power comes new questions. Would the empire sustain unity under the pressure of modernization? Would ethnic tensions, political rivalries, and economic inequality tear it apart from within? Or would it become the first truly global industrial civilization, leading humanity into the modern era centuries early? Drop your thoughts below. How do you imagine a world where the Ottoman Empire industrialized 200 years ahead of everyone else?